All right, let's come to the big debate that we're talking about on the show this evening. So now, exactly a year ago, in January 2021, really, the news broke that Tesla has registered its Indian arm in Bengaluru. There were visuals as well of the offices that they may occupy, and all of that was very exciting. But cut to a year later, and there's no sign of these iconic vehicles in the country. The back and forth between the company and the Indian authorities is still ongoing. You'll remember last year, Tesla actually wrote a letter to the Indian authorities urging that import duties on vehicles that are electric vehicles that have been brought into the country, custom duties should be reduced. They're currently anywhere between 60 and 100%. Tesla had argued in that letter that the cutoff means that their vehicles will be charged about 110% of duties. They said that this was prohibitive for a vehicle which has zero emissions. They have promised that if these duties are cut, then they will be investing in things like, refueling stations or recharging stations. They will be investing in sales, marketing, will create more jobs here. But from the Indian government's point of view, the stance has been very clear. That was reiterated today, that you have to actually make something in India to want this duty cut. What about others who have invested over here? You can't bring in just completely built units, sell it over here, and then expect special treatment. So this tussle is still going on. There is no headway really. Let's get into it a little more, and Harma Surabji is with me right now to do that. So is Gaurav Vangal. Welcome to both of you, and thank you so much for joining us. Harmas, what is your take? Do you think that there should have been a solution at least by now? Quite a bit of time has passed and it's status quo.
Well, there are two issues. One is the whole principle of having lower duty, even if it's customs duty on cars that emit less. That's a separate issue. But coming to Tesla, I mean, frankly, I think I really don't know why, it's been given so much sort of airtime or people are talking about it, because frankly, Tesla is not going to make a jot of a difference to the EV race in India at all. The cars are expensive. They cater to the top end. That's a very, very small market. The cars over here, right now, they're not suitable. You said there's no sign of them. Actually, there is a sign of them. There are all these mules being tested. I drove a Model 3, and in its current form, it cannot function in India because it hits every speed breaker. So, I don't think, for one, the product's as great as it's made out to be, or it's, that we should be so desperate for it. And I think, there's a policy over there. It should be fair for everyone. Just yesterday, Mercedes announced that it's going to be locally manufacturing the EQS. And that's a very expensive car. That's going to be a crore plus, but they are still locally manufacturing that despite minimal volumes. So I think, honestly, to me, that this is really a non-issue. I don't know why, typically Elon Musk makes an issue out of it. Frankly, his cars really will not add any value to the Indian EV ecosystem, especially at this price. There's no sign of them making a car in the, let's say, affordable category. And on the other hand, you've got a company like Tata, which has just gone way ahead of everyone in the EV race and has captured 70% of the market, with orders of 2,000 a month. Now, that's really what we need. And that's not what we're going to get from Tesla. Second point is, should there be lower customs duties for EVs? I think principally yes. Because to have the same customs duty for an IC engine and an EV engine, just principally it's wrong because EVs emit less. So even if there's a marginal reduction, I think, it makes the point that you are kind of rewarding cars with no tailpipe emission.
The accusation here, and this is what government sources told ET Now today, is that this is a pressure tactic without a promise to build anything here in India. Gaurav Vangal, where do you sit on, this ongoing debate? And the other side of it really is that Harmas is right. Tesla is not going to come and shake up the Indian automobile scene, but it is a prestige product. And are we signaling that it's not welcome here?
No, I think it's not an easy decision. I think for both of them, for Government of India also, because as you mentioned, that's a prestige brand globally for EV, and for Tesla, they cannot ignore the emerging market like India, specifically in EV, because the focus of the government is clearly towards EV right now. But yes, I agree with Hormas what has mentioned, that it would be a bit unfair to the Mercedes Benz or Audi or BMW, those who have invested from the last 3 decades in our country. And if I remember correctly, there was a specific bottleneck which emerged during European and Indian bilateral trade agreement or FTAs, that automotive should not be there. So that's the kind of thing that will erupt another kind of issue if some special discounts will be given to some company. Third, I would say it is totally against the core idea of Make in India and the PLI scheme. And what the conclusion I would like to bring it here, that what Tesla can do if they are keen to come, and I think they should come. The market should not be ignored. But yes, as Thomas again mentioned, that there's an issue with the ground clearance of the product. They can take the import route. If they wanted to test the waters, they can take the import route. But yes, otherwise they can take contract manufacturing with the local partner, any of the local partner. We have plenty of plants which are operating less than 60% capacity utilization. They can enter into that. They can come to that route if they're more confident in India. And I think it's a time to show confidence in India for specifically for EV market.
Nikunj Sanghi is also joining us on the discussion this evening. Nikunj, welcome. Great to have you on the show. Your take on this Musk versus, government situation. My question to you is that should it take so long? What is the kind of negotiation even going on?
So I don't think it's a negotiation. It's I would call it an ego issue with Elon Musk, and there is no reason why he should be treated any way differently from all other manufacturers who have invested in India and who have been selling far more expensive cars than Elon is. And I would agree with Horma totally that he will add no value to the Indian EV ecosystem. He should come in. It's good for him that he comes in. And he has a future in India, a very big future in India. I don't think any of the EV players can afford to ignore India. He needs to test waters. Please go ahead and do it. And in any case, EVs are getting special treatment. The GST on EV is far, far lower than the IC engines. They are paying just 5% GST as against 43%, which most others are paying in IC engines. So there is a favorable environment for EVs. The government is all absolutely sure that they want to promote EVs. I think Elon Musk should relent, and he should make an entry into India on a CBU unit. And as Bengal said, he could come in as a contract manufacturing setup, or even set up his own unit. I mean, I don't think he is... liquidity is a problem with, money is not a problem with him. So he better invest in India and come in India. He's welcome. We would want him. We would want his cars. We would want to drive those cars. You're welcome, Elon. Please come in.
Yeah, I remember when the Teslas were first getting booked, and how many Indian entrepreneurs were, flaunting the status of having booked one on social media. Hormaz, are the decks stacked one way so clearly that it's, my way or the highway kind of message to Elon Musk? Do we want that kind of a headline in India that, Tesla packs up operations here after a year of heading nowhere? And is there a precedent of the kind of investment we're expecting from Tesla? Do they do it in other countries?
So firstly, to me, Tesla is just another EV manufacturer. So, I don't know what headlines you're talking about. I mean, Ford has exited India. That's a much worse headline, if you ask me, than Elon Musk exiting India. He's not even entered India. So I think we're just giving him a bit far too much importance. The cars are phenomenal. I've driven them. and they are really very special because the whole ethos of it is it's not been derived from an IC engine. It's not a legacy manufacturer, so it comes with a different kind of feel. Basically, it's a lithium battery slab with a piece of software and then just a body around it. So it really is quite amazing in some ways, but at the same time, there are a lot of issues. I think, frankly, the conditions just aren't right for Tesla to launch. I think that's the basic issue. Firstly, it's the suitability of the cars. They would need an SUV that would be much better. Then this whole thing about contract manufacturing. Frankly, for the volumes they have, it just doesn't even make sense to locally assemble. They can only import because they're a standalone company. Then what about the distribution? Normally, they distribute the cars directly. That's the Tesla model all over. But we know FDI is not allowed for, let's say foreign companies. So that's also not even thought through. I don't think a lot of things are thought through. I don't think they are ready for the launch. Either way, so even hypothetically, tomorrow if government said, yes, we're giving you a concession in duty, I don't think they would be ready to come. So I think, as I said, it's just another EV manufacturer. I think we're just giving it too much importance. They're going through the same pains that other people go through, and rightfully so. They have to learn the market. And, I don't think frankly, I don't even think there's a big scope for their cars over here. They're just too expensive. And remember one thing about India, this market is so unique that the cars that are successful here are not successful anywhere else, and vice versa, that the cars that have been hugely successful globally are not the ones that are successful here. That's really the difference. That's really what makes the Indian market unique. So, with that, I don't think, Tesla is really going to see huge volumes over here. It is just putting its toe in the market. Yes, what we do know, they will be coming out with an affordable car in the future, with China as a key market for that. That is in the works. That's what, we believe. That car would make sense eventually over here, but that's still some time away. And believe me, a lot of the OEMs right now, from Maruti to Hyundai to Kia, Tata, of course, even Mahindra getting into it, everyone's got an EV play. And, it's all going to be stacked towards the affordable end of the market.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's a interesting battle that is ongoing. And Hormaz, you have a point. All things Elon become very headlineable, no doubt about that. But we'll wait and see where this goes forward. Thank you so much to all of you for joining us on the discussion and talking about EV plans. We've reported today, in fact, as an exclusive story, that India's largest car maker, Maruti, definitely does have its EV plans in place. This could be seen as early as 2024. My colleague Utkarsh has more.
Well, Maruti's first electric vehicle will be built out of its Hansalpur plant in Gujarat. That's what our sources are telling us. The company has started working on setting up the capacity, and this capacity will be of 1 lakh units per annum. That's what we have been told by our sources. And this capacity will be shared by Maruti and Toyota, both is what our sources tell us. Our sources have indicated that this is a joint product which is being developed. The company will look to keep it in a segment which is more massy, and that will work for Toyota as well. But this will be a segment which will be used by both Toyota and Maruti. In fact, from that 1 lakh, there will be products which will be going out and models going out to the ASEAN markets, to the other markets for Toyota as well. This is what we have been told. When is it launching? 2024 end is what Maruti is aiming. They're trying to make it 2024 mid, but end is where the current target goes at this point of time. Remember that Maruti is the only player right now in the country which either does not have an EV presence, or even by next year will not have an EV presence in the market, given the fact that they believe that by 2024 will be the right time when the charging infrastructure will be ready and the vehicles will be in a position to sell at a much better scale.